This is Record Royale, where we throw two albums into the ring with one another and see which one comes out on top. Hey!
Hello, yo!
Oh, damn! It's the whole crew again. But Brad, you're back after a
it feels good to be back.
week-long hiatus. Are you feeling better?
Oh, so much better. I was honestly like delirious when you guys were. I saw it was about 7:30. I was like, oh, I'd probably be doing the pod right now, and I was just like, I couldn't talk. I was shivering cold.
No
Thought I had
good.
COVID.
No COVID though.
No COVID. COVID clean.
Nice.
COVID clear.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Big episode today, as we are joined by Rachel Maria Cox. Rachel, how are you? Thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm pretty good. I'm doing all right.
That's good to hear.
But thanks for accepting my album suggestions as well. I think I slid into your DMs because I listened to the podcast, but like so much of the time I'm like, I've never listened to these albums. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need you to do albums that I've listened to.
I think this one's been locked in for so long because you were like, you should do Harry Styles and Taylor Swift, and I was like, all right, do you want to do it with us? And you're like, yep. And I was like, sweet, let's do it in August or whenever. And I was like, all right, cool, can't wait for that. And now it's popped around. Harry Styles, Fine Line, Taylor Swift, Lover. What made you choose these two?
I think they're a good example. So they both came out the same year, which is a good.
Yeah.
And they're both famously Harry Styles and Taylor Swift did date for a little while.
When was that? I read that, but was that same?
It was a long time before this. It was
time.
sort of like the 2010s.
Right.
It was after One Direction had formed, and One Direction didn't form until 2010.
Okay.
So,
right.
Cool.
But yeah, and it was like not a big thing, but then there was like this whole they both wrote songs about each other, and like fans of them kind of started to follow it around. So I sort of like the narrative around these two artists and sort of the narrative built around them and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a like pop culture nerd, so it kind of appeals to me. Cool. And I also just think they're both like very excellent pop albums. Because a lot of pop music is so singles driven. Like to find two really excellent pop albums from 2020 is 2019 is pretty cool.
I think the thing with them dating as well, they're both like in the elite tier of like pop stars from the past decade. Like obviously Harry Styles with One Direction and then Taylor freaking Swift. But like there would only be like a group of maybe 10 like of those top tier, like Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, like just huge mega stars.
They have the craziest fans ever as well, both of these artists. You can imagine when they broke up, there would have been death threats to either of them from either fan base, surely.
A war was brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when One Direction were at their peak, they were the biggest thing in the world, like by a mile. I don't know who to compare it to now, but
they were literally, I'm going to come out and say this very early in the pod, comparable to the Beatles.
like they were huge.
Like, they did better numbers than the Beatles. So like, no, like in terms of it's just streams, I guess, but
still,
but they did massive numbers.
And just in terms of the absolute like crazy fan base as well, both of these artists have. So part of the reason that this came up and that they were both really kind of like present on my mind when I suggested this was because I just DJ'd a Taylor Swift club night, which was like 5 and a bit hours in Melbourne of just all Taylor Swift, nothing else. And then I'd done a couple of these before for Harry Styles and for One Direction as well. And so I just listened to a lot of their music. Like my Spotify Wrapped for this year is already screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd listen to all of it, and then you go to these events with people who are like diehard fans of these acts, and you're like, oh man, you're on some other level.
Yeah.
When you DJ those events, do you just play the songs as they are, or do you like put a little bit of mix on it, or just straight click play?
So Harry Styles, One Direction, I do mix a little bit, and I will throw in. So for a One Direction night, you can throw in all of their like solo projects and stuff like that, and you might throw in a little bit of other stuff that's kind of the same vibe that people are going to like as well. Taylor Swift, I was under really strict instructions to not play anything else.
Really?
Don't cut anything short. Like, play it every song in full, start to finish.
My God.
Because they'd already the company that that do these parties, they'd already done several of them in different places, and they were like, the feedback. These fans are very vocal about their feedback, and the feedback that we're getting is that they really only want to hear Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And they do want to hear every song in full.
Just don't skip. Play all.
They collected the data. Yeah. Every song.
Did you say it was a 5-hour gig?
Yeah, and that's not enough time to play every Taylor Swift song either. I had to be selective.
But it would be pretty, surely pretty close though.
Yeah, I mean, she did go and release that double album last year, so that sort of bumps up the... And I didn't, if I'm being honest, I didn't play as much stuff off Folklore and Evermore, because it's not really a club vibe.
Yeah. No, not at all. You can still get through a fair chunk of the discography though. In a 5-hour set. God.
Yeah.
And what? Surely the people going don't... I mean, surely they're not there for the entire 5 hours. Like,
maybe they
that's
were.
where you're wrong.
Wow.
Most of them did turn up. Like, doors were at 9, and most of them did turn up pretty
Nine,
close
and
to
it
9.
goes for 5 hours.
Like, we're talking at 9:08, about 9:30, the venue was as full as it was going to get, and then at 2 a.m. it was about as full as it was at 9:30. Like, most people were there for the whole thing. Most people were pretty much like, they knew what they were there for, and they knew what they were about, and it was Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
But yeah, it was enough time to play a couple of albums in full, or almost in full. Like, I played almost everything off Fearless, I played almost everything off 1989, almost everything off Lover, almost everything off Reputation.
Yeah.
And then I played some off, like, the early and the later albums. I just played just some of the gems, just some of the bangers.
Yeah. The hits.
You'd be pretty upset if you rocked up at 10 and your favourite track was played at 9:30 and you were there till for 4 more hours. It's like, where's Blank Space?
Was there any drama there?
No.
There's no,
I couldn't imagine.
The sound guy
Little
described it. He had the best description. The sound guy described it. He was like, these events have a very Christian vibe. And I'm like, that's accurate. Good. With a small minority, it was like mostly like white girls and then a very small group of gay men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that pretty accurately sums up Taylor Swift fans, I think.
What's a Harry Styles concert looking like?
Similar.
Similar?
Quite similar. Fewer gays.
Fewer gays. More
girls than gays. And yeah, it was, but there's those they also get a bit messier. So this is a weird fact, but One Direction fans drink more than Taylor Swift fans. So I did One Direction party and I got told, you're gonna have to wrap it up soon. We've had several people throw up or pass out because like they're still, fairly young women. Yeah. So they drink more, but that's still not a lot.
You could write a thesis on the differences between the demographics of Taylor Swift and Harry Styles.
I wrote some notes for this, and as I was writing notes for this, I'm like, is this going to be my master's thesis?
Yeah.
Please.
What a treat that would be.
It was so easy this week to... I'm doing 2 truths and a lie later on today, and it was unbelievably easy just to find things... Because fans just write... There was like 200 facts about Harry Styles.
200,000
the facts were just like, he loves his fans, number 1.
10,000 facts you need to know. You need to read before you die about Harry Styles.
Like, just dissected every single interview that he's ever done, all this stuff. It's crazy.
Too easy.
There was one that was like, this girl said that she had a Harry Styles face tattoo, but she didn't. And she was lying. What a bitch. I was like, whoa. Okay.
Why would you lie about
this is a really angry facts section.
That's so easy to prove wrong.
Internet.
Well, I think like Harry reposted this girl's Instagram of the face tattoo. So then this girl who wrote the facts was obviously very angry that
she was hating.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't use that as your 2 truths and a lie. All right, number 1. A girl used to have a Harry Styles tattoo, but
it was fake.
Turned out to be fake. All right, let's get into the albums, I reckon. Before we do, subscribe to the show, give it a share, drop us a 5-star rating. We haven't mentioned that before, but it's a good. We're actually. I was looking on the little Apple podcast today. I haven't been on there a while. We're up there. So keep us up there with 5-star rating and leave a little review. All right, getting through the facts of these ones. Harry Styles, of course, British pop star, formerly of One Direction. This was his second studio album, released on December 13th, 2019 by Columbia Records. Yep, huge label. 5 producers and writers alongside Harry. Jeff Barsker, he's worked with Kanye West. Kid Harpoon, worked with Florence the Machine. Tyler Johnson, worked with John Legend. Greg Kurstin, worked with the Foo Fighters. And Semi Witt has worked with Luke Hemmings of 5 Seconds of Summer. It's a pretty decent little lineup, as you'd expect. 6 singles: Lights Up, Adore You, Falling, Watermelon Sugar, Golden, Treat People with Kindness was the last one. Pretty weird single, actually, kind of thought, maybe.
So good.
Love it. Great track.
Such a feel-good track.
Yeah.
Peaked at 1 in 13 countries, as you'd expect, including Australia, the US. Didn't in the UK, though. Hasn't peaked at 1 in the UK. It peaked at 2. So not sure what's been beating that out the past year and a half. It was nominated for Album of the Year at the 2020 Brit Awards, nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album at the Grammys, and it won the Grammy Award for Best Pop Solo Performance for Watermelon Sugar. And get this, in 2020, Rolling Stone named it its 491st Best Album of all time.
Just in there.
Are you, what?
Just scraped in.
It was so a year old, and they're like, you know what? I think this is number 491. We'll go with 491.
Update it
guys.
every year?
I think.
I was about to say.
No, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't think it's every
week.
Year.
They update it.
I think it's pretty often though. It's definitely every 5.
Stupidest list ever.
It's really dumb. We should get some merch done on that. Taylor Swift, T Swift. This is the 7th studio album, released on August 23rd, 2019 by Republic Records. The other huge one. It was 4 producers and writers alongside Taylor. Jack Antonoff, who we've mentioned heaps. Did you know he's the drummer of Fun? Anyone know that?
No.
He might be the guitar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, damn. What a good album that first Fun album is. Some nights I
He's done so... he's the biggest name.
He's the writer for everyone. Yeah. And he's
I saw a
Fun.
meme that was Taylor Swift and Lorde and Lana Del Rey being like, no, you had the Jack Antonoff last. It's my turn.
Yeah. I saw that.
He's doing so much press at the moment too. Anyway, he's on everything. Jimmy Fallon and stuff.
Wow.
And he was in Fun.
Well, he's killing it.
There you go.
Yeah, in Fun. Yeah, very cool. I still listen to Fun. They're great. Should do a Fun album. Other producers: Joel Little. Remember that name? He did Lorde's first album. Right. Louis Bell. He's worked with Post Malone. Frank Dukes worked with The Weeknd. The Chicks and Brendan Urie of Panic! At the Disco provide guest vocals. There might be others, but they're definitely the main 2.
The Chicks is the Dixie Chicks, isn't it?
There's no one else? Cool.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Chicks formerly known as the Dixie Chicks.
The Dixie Chicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 singles: Me, which is with Brendan Urie, You Need to Calm Down, Lover, and The Man. It peaked at 1 in 20 countries, including the US, the UK, and Australia, and it was nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album at the Grammys. Didn't win, though. And it was a separate year to what Harry Styles won, and lost as well. Can't remember who won those ones. I think Dua Lipa won last year, or this year, and then don't know who won the year before. Anyway.
I think maybe, I'm not sure if she won the Grammy, but I'm pretty sure the year before was also the year that Billie Eilish, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go came out, so that probably won some things.
Yeah, that won everything.
Them, didn't it?
Speaking of Billie Eilish, have you any of you listened to her new album that came out the other day?
No, I didn't know the whole album was out.
I'm due there.
Coming out last Friday. Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. It's pretty long. I look at the album list. It's an hour. I'm like, oh, all right. I'll get around to doing that eventually.
Yeah,
one day
when I have to. All right, let's get into the elements. I was thinking. I don't know if this is really true. I kind of wrote this earlier in the week, but. Well, for Harry Styles, I think, anyway. Is it you could probably touch on this way more than me, Rachel. Do you reckon it's both albums, kind of both artists, trying to do something completely different to what they've done? Definitely Harry Styles. This sounds completely different. But not that I've had a deep dive into the Taylor Swift discography, but this feels a lot different and more I don't know. They feel like they were liberated when they were singing.
Yeah, so
cool.
I wrote down the fine line. The vibe that it gives me is a millennial has creative freedom for the first time and discovers his parents' record collection.
Right.
That's the energy that it has.
That is
So true.
And like
Perfect.
Harry Styles' self-titled debut album does have a lot of that same vibe, but it's a bit rockier, and it's got some great songs on it, but it's sort of got a bit more. It's a bit. I'm not going to say heavier, but it's a bit rockier. It's a bit less pop, and I think that sort of is a reaction of coming straight out of One Direction, and it's your first solo album, and you want to really like steer away and do something different. And Fine Line feels a bit more like, yeah, it's still pop, but it's got a lot of retro influences. Lover is an interesting one because at this point it was Taylor Swift's like it's her seventh studio album.
Seventh, yeah.
And it came right after Reputation, and Reputation is one of those albums that was sort of critically panned a little bit.
Yeah.
People didn't love it. It was very hip hop influenced. It was very much her kind of trying to lean into this bad girl attitude and be like, well, if everyone says I'm such a bitch, then I'm going to kind of play into that. It sort of, there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans who love it. It sort of, to me, has aged a little better than I would have expected it to. But coming off the back of Reputation, like, Lover really feels like a breath of fresh air and really kind of like letting go of all of that, and kind of her hang-ups on what other people think of her is kind of gone a little bit in this. And I think, yeah, it sort of feels like really trying to steer away from that Reputation era. So I think it's definitely true. Like Lover sonically is probably more similar to 1989 than anything else that Taylor Swift's done, just like synth poppy kind of thing. But yeah, it's sort of significant just because of how different Reputation was, and then to follow that up with something like Lover, it's sort of really just being like, okay, I got all of that off my chest, I got that out of my system, now I'm going to go back to kind of making nice pop music again.
Yeah.
I really liked on this album, I was definitely a bigger fan of the tracks that were like a lot less going on. Maybe not just the acoustic ones, but there's a few ones that are just like maybe just a synth and her singing. And they were definitely my favorite ones on there, just because it didn't have all the glitz. And then I wasn't as big a fan of the ones that are just like, well, the big singles and stuff, just because it was kind of, I don't know, it feels too engineered and less personal. But that's probably because it does have 1,000 engineers on it. But the ones, and I think that kind of leading into Folklore, I quite like Folklore because that feels even more like it's actually from her. But yeah, there's quite a few tracks, especially on like the first half of the album, that I was really into.
Yeah, I was about to say the first run's great.
Yeah.
Like I could go even, I think, the first 5 down to the Archer. I really like the Archer.
The Archer's my
Archer's my favorite
Archer's
as
my
well.
favorite. That was exactly the one I was talking about too.
Well, that first run that you just mentioned, they were all like relatively stripped back. I mean, Cruel Summer's got a bit more going on, but it's mainly just like synth and drum.
Maybe a simple beat or something.
Yeah, and it's by far the best. I think the lyrics are still like overall really good because they tell like a pretty good story. It kind of feels like a concept album. It's not, but all this. I mean, is it a concept album?
Yeah, look, a lot of Taylor Swift stuff is in the sense that like, and it's sort of it's a concept album in a very pop way, in the sense that all of the visuals that go with it and the aesthetic that goes with it and the narrative that goes around it, and I think Taylor Swift's really good at doing this. She kind of constructs a whole concept and vibe around it. And I think this one is really, it's not quite a concept album, but it all thematically works together, and it all sort of sonically works together as well. There's a real like aesthetic to it. I agree with you guys. I think it's this album, the first, I would go so far as to say all the way up to Death by 1,000 Cuts, like, is pretty good. And one of the general like criticisms of this album is they picked some some of the worst songs to be singles. That really didn't represent the album very well at all. So you come out of it with Me was the first single from it with
What are your
Brendan
thoughts?
Urie.
What are your thoughts on that track, Rachel?
Man.
It's a bit too glitzy for me, eh?
I get irrationally mad thinking about that song because I love Brendan Urie and I love Panic at the Disco and Brendan Urie is such a great singer and Taylor Swift is such a great songwriter and I'm like, why did you come together and make something so bad?
It's a bit too Disney.
Could have been so epic.
It's very
it's really saccharine.
I wrote down Brendan's verse.
The lyrics is
verse.
I think his verse.
He gets half a verse too because he sings one line and then Taylor Swift starts singing again. I'm like,
too.
this is Brendan's verse.
So this is the part. This is just on its own. It's not great. When I was listening to it, I was like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
I know I tend to make it about me. I know you never get just what you see, but I will never bore you, baby. And there's a lot of lame guys out there. And when we had that fight out in the rain, you ran after me and called my name. I never want to see you walk away. And there's a lot of lame guys out there.
Oh, really? I thought it was lean guys, not lame guys.
No, it's lame.
Just make everything rhyme. Last word has to rhyme.
They're in a rush. I was like, this is got to be the single. Brendan's on it. Just fucking finish it today. Like, come on.
Everyone lame. That'll
Brad,
get
you said you liked the hook. The hook's pretty catchy.
I did like the hook.
You mean the hook that's just
it's definitely an earworm.
Yeah,
it's an earworm.
I keep hearing that from the Beauty and the Geek ad, and I was
going to say that's Channel 7 ad music.
Yeah, because I was like, what is this track? And then I heard it, and I was like, oh my god, no, this is from that ad.
That's the annoying music that I've been hearing watching the Olympics in the middle of shit. You're like, shut the
and one of the other things that I really had you listened to this album before I'd suggested it?
No.
So the album version of this song at least does one thing, which is in the single version of this song right before they go into the bridge, which is also terrible. A real low point of an already low point of a song. Taylor Swift goes, "Hey kids, spelling is fun." They mercifully omit that from the album version, which is too little too late, but like at least when I was listening back to this album and this song would come on, I didn't have to suffer through that. And I'm really glad they did that. And it's just, it also, as much as it's like everything that's wrong with it, it also is not at all representative of like lyrically what the album is about.
No.
Because the album is kind of really about, you know, being a little bit more mature and, you know, going from having all of her albums about being like the breakup songs and, you know, that kind of almost a bit of a meme about what Taylor Swift is about. And this is kind of like a lot more settled and mature and being like, I'm just like comfortable in a happy relationship and it's kind of just, and then Me is just like, I'm the best. You'll never find someone like me. And I'm like, why? Why did you pick this song?
This is why everyone hated the last album. Yeah. this mentality.
Me. Such an odd choice.
And then closely followed by the second single was You Need to Calm Down.
Yeah.
And I go back and forth on this. I don't hate it as much as I dislike Me, but
I'm not a fan.
It gives me big white feminist energy, and I'm like, oh, you really think you made a difference by writing the line "Shade never made anybody less gay"? I'm like, you really thought you were gonna solve homophobia with that one, huh?
Wow, homophobia is dead, guys.
With that one,
it's true. It really, my gripe with that album is that you should shave off like 5 tracks.
Fair few.
Yeah.
Which is quite a lot of misses. It's the back 5 that it just...
What about London Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, London Boy I
didn't mind London Boy.
London Boy I can take or leave. It's like, it's not great, but it's not so... it's not... So Taylor Swift is like, she doesn't do irony very well. So a lot of her stuff comes off a bit too earnest and a bit too taking herself a bit too seriously. And sometimes that works really well, and sometimes it's just a bit off. And on London Boy, it's not so off that I cringe to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's a bit off, but it's not so off that I like. It's not off in the same way yes, some of the aforementioned songs are in just judging tone. And like, yeah, the last, I will say, and I know it's a bit divisive, it's Nice to Have a Friend. I really like It's Nice to Have a Friend. I think that's fun
actually,
and
that one
unexpected.
was good. Yeah.
But then also to me, Afterglow and Daylight, both on the back half of the album, I'm like, you only needed one of these. This is the same song twice.
Kind of the same thing. You're right.
I just don't know. We've done it like a fair few pop albums now on the pod, and for some reason in my brain, I always thought pop albums are short, but they're not. They're always just, obviously because they're putting so much money in it, they're always too big. I don't think we've ever done
that stream money.
I don't think we've ever done a pop album and we've gone, yeah, this is perfect back to front to back, because there's always just some shit in there.
I think a lot of energy just goes into writing singles, and when you're like, you put your mindset when you're like, I'm going to write singles for this album versus I'm just going to write some album tracks. You just end up with a bit more filler.
Yeah.
Than you might. That is one of the things I'll say about Fine Line. 12 tracks.
It's really good.
Length.
It's a great length.
Great length.
Great.
I was going to say that, and it flows really well as well, I think.
The whole thing sounds like a Fleet Foxes album, or like a Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually.
It's so
harmonies
in a
and
good
the-
way. The harmonies
are
so
crazy.
good.
The vocal
There's a folk
layering
element
on
to
that album is nuts. I think.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, the harmonies aren't Fleet Foxes level.
No.
But the overall sound and like the folk type of the folk.
I like the feeling.
elements
The
on it.
whole album kind of feels like "Sympathy for the Devil" by Rolling Stones a little bit. Same energy, where it's just like a lot of bongos, kind of a little bit rocky, pretty poppy. It's very similar. It just sounds like "Let It Bleed." Actually, now I think about it, album we've done on the pod.
That's a crazy comparison.
Oh, it does, and it's got a lot of choir in it as well.
Yeah, a lot of choir.
A lot of choir.
Rocks. The choir
it's
rocks.
good.
I remember hearing "Adore You." That was the first track I heard. I don't think it was the first single. It was the second single. And I was like, oh, this is Harry Styles? I was like, this is so good.
Great
this
track,
is so such a simple, beautiful pop track. Heaps
So is
catchy.
Golden, I really like.
Same thing with
great.
the Taylor Swift album, actually. The first,
it's very
5
top
songs. It flows so well. Yeah, like she and... there's a couple of longer tracks on the back half, which is still good, but they don't hit as hard as what the first half of the album does.
I think the close is amazing as
Yeah,
well. I
Fine
listened to
Line.
that the
Yeah,
other day
that's
in the
good.
car.
And Treat
Yeah,
People
it was
with Kindness.
beautiful.
I'm a huge fan
That's
of.
my favourite song.
Me too.
Easy.
Oh.
I got put on that about maybe at the start of the year,
Great track.
and it's been in my go-to playlist, and it's such a instant smile song.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. This album
And-
is
Not
so
love it.
much fun. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of it
Yeah.
is just really, really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Really infectious.
Yeah,
I think
for
as
sure.
well.
Like,
Yeah.
I even feel the same way about, like, Canyon Moon.
Yeah.
It's
And
just,
Sunflower Volume
like,
6.
just so fun to listen to.
Yeah. Really bright.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, particularly the first 4 songs that were all singles.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you didn't have to go this hard in the first 4 songs. Like, give me a second. Give me
No,
a second.
I like that though.
Process
A good front run, but it's also got to bring it home, and I think this
Yeah.
album does.
It
I
does.
love Golden.
I think
such
Golden's
good
a
song.
great opener.
Yeah, for sure. My one gripe with this album is She.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
just
See?
because
Bit
I
of a
think
miss.
it's why is it 6 minutes long, first of all? And why is 4 of those 6 minutes a guitar solo on an
Yeah.
album for a singer? Like,
Yeah.
if it was a band and I knew who the guitarist was,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was
would be
looking for
fine.
the like if it was like John Frusciante.
Santana.
Santana,
like some big
John Mayer.
guitarist came on and did a big guitar solo at the end. I'd be like, that's sick. But
All right, Carlos, we need to rip one for 5 minutes.
yeah,
Go
come
for
on,
it.
Carlos.
Have at it, boy.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
it. You got a couple minutes worth of one of the most
That's so
expensive
fair.
albums ever.
That's a good shout, Rachel. I
I'm like,
heavily agree.
I don't
Yeah.
need a guitar solo that long
Didn't
on a
need to be
Harry
in there.
Styles album, unless
feel
it
as though,
was
yeah,
Santana.
I
And
feel
now
as though
that
a lot
I've
of-
mentioned it, I do need a Santana remix of this song.
And Rob Thomas.
And Rob Thomas also features.
I feel as
Yeah.
though a lot of
And Steven
pop
Tyler.
pop albums do that though. They have like the deeper cuts that they know aren't going to be singles, so they're just like, let's just make this like an epic track. And sometimes they just don't need to be. They can just
No.
be 3 minutes, and that's cool. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little self-indulgent to me because I'm like, and if you're Harry Styles, you can be self-indulgent. Like, you're gonna make millions of dollars off this record regardless. So, like, I don't begrudge you doing that, but it does feel a little bit self-indulgent to me to be like, I'm gonna put a 6-minute track on this album and it's gonna be full of guitar solo and like just because I really like this music. And I'm like, that's
Fair.
Sure.
Do you think that
you
could be
can do
the
that.
issue with maybe both of these albums when they do have those fillers? It is, they just know they're going to make so much money that they're like, they don't have that feeling of, oh God, like everyone needs to like this, I might fail, because they just are so used to winning. Maybe.
I think Taylor Swift.
Maybe.
Taylor Swift is definitely in the position, particularly by the time Lover comes out, that she's like, I could release. So
Literally
I'm not
anything.
sure if you guys have been following with her re-releasing her old albums because of this legal issue with owning the masters of it, and so she's re-releasing Red, and like, you know, it's going to be 30 tracks long because she re-records and re-releases all the old demos that didn't make it onto the album and stuff like that. And like, there's a song that All Too Well, which is from Red. She's releasing like a 8-minute long version of it or something like that, right? Because she edited it down for the original album and cut out all of these verses, and she's going to just release the unedited version. And I'm like, you're at the point in your career where you know your fans are just gonna eat that up.
That's a money machine.
And you know, and we saw it with when she re-released Fearless, and she put all these bonus tracks on it, and almost every track on that album was in the Hot 100 charted, just because Taylor Swift fans are like, yes, give me more of this.
Yeah.
So she's definitely at that point.
Rerun.
Harry Styles, I think, less so, and I think that shows in the track length. I think they were definitely like, we can't guarantee, and you also see that with other One Direction solo projects which were not as successful. So I think there's definitely some some consciousness about like this might not necessarily be huge. Because, you know, there's been some other One Direction solo projects, which I will not name, that have been not good. So yeah, they're probably a little bit more conscious just because Harry's still much earlier in his solo career.
Interesting.
I think what you're going to say, Adam, these pop albums are never going to be like regarded as incredible albums because they just chuck everything on it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think they always suffer from that, but I think that's also just because they've got these big ridiculous teams.
Yeah,
like you can't blame them.
No, not at all.
Because it's not even their choice. Half the time, like, I don't know. You see the big albums where it's made by like one person and they usually do condense it a little bit. But this does feel like it's just like everyone gets to throw in an idea. And some of them don't work.
Play. I was going to say, but like, because I keep going back to that Benny album because it doesn't have those moments in it. It's like fully start to finish, track after track.
That's true, yeah. So, I guess she's not
their
as
level.
Big, though.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. She can't afford to make those mistakes. Yeah, maybe.
Well, even Billie Eilish's first album doesn't really have any filler.
But it's her and her brother.
That's true.
Know? It's like a couple people team.
Yeah.
Like they're a massive artist, obviously artists, but yeah.
I'd also argue Lady Gaga's first 2 albums have no duds.
Yeah. We haven't done a Lady Gaga album, actually.
If you want to get me back for Chromatica versus Future Nostalgia.
Yeah.
We need a pop correspondent, I think.
Yeah, pop correspondent.
We definitely need a pop correspondent.
A pop correspondent.
We're not very good at it. Yeah.
I know a lot about popular music, I will say that.
Yeah.
Have you listened to Olivia Rodrigo's new album?
Oh man, I love it.
Me too. I actually noticed because I know she says she's a huge Taylor Swift fan, and then listening to this, I was like, oh, I can hear that heaps. Like on Cruel Summer. I think it's like the chorus is like this high vocal harmony. I was like, oh, that sounds exactly like how she would write.
And Cruel Summer, I'm pretty sure just got added as Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff just got added writers' credits on Cruel Summer as a version, like, because there was some argument that I think And I don't know how I feel about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because in the bridge of Cruel Summer, she goes, "I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard?" She kind of yells it. And there's
And
like
it's
a
like
bit
Deja
in
Vu?
Deja Vu does the
Yeah,
same
that's
thing
where
in the
I
bridge.
heard. Oh, that's exactly where I heard it then.
And so that's just been retroactively, they've been added a writer's credit, and there's another song on that album, Three Steps Forward, Two Steps Back, or whatever it is.
One step forward, 3 steps back.
That
yeah.
one. And that samples a song from Reputation, which is actually a really good song. And not at all what I would expect. It's called New Year's Day. It's a really good song. If you want to go and skip all of Reputation except that, go and do that. I will say though, if you want to laugh, there is a song on Reputation. It's called Endgame. It features Future and Ed Sheeran.
Fuck.
And
So down.
and all
sound
three
good
of
to
them
me.
have rap verses. And it is, it's worth
Sounds
having a
gross.
listen to at least once in your life, just to know that even people with heaps of money and
They
of
stuff up.
advisors and labels and stuff like that, they make bad decisions too.
Yeah.
Some garbage.
I've added it to a playlist so I can listen to it. What was the track? What was the track that the other one from that album that Olivia Rodrigo
New Year's
sampled?
Day, it's the last song.
All right, epic. I'll have to listen to that too. All right, shall we get into the segments?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, kicking off with Get Inked.
Get inked.
That's right, my friends. We're gonna make some tattoo designs from these albums. Rachel, would you like to go first?
Sure. I've
All right.
thought about this a little bit. I will also mention this because there was, I think it was either the Panic at the Disco Fall Out Boy one, or the one that you guys did on Arctic Monkeys versus the Strokes. One of those ones where someone talked about, and I suspect it was the Panic Fall Out Boy one, because I think it's one of the guys from Jacob mentioned, like a very Tumblr tattoo, like take a picture of just a text tattoo in cursive and black and white and post it on Tumblr. I have one of those tattoos, and I just need you guys to know that, and it's an Amity
Hell
Affliction
yeah.
lyric.
Whoa.
Wow.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
hectic.
Yeah. So
Salute.
Salute.
I think a lot of these lyrics would very much work in that style of tattoo. But I thought for Taylor Swift, there's a line in Death by a Thousand Cuts where she says, "I asked the traffic lights if it'll be alright. They say, I don't know." And I like the idea of getting a little traffic light tattoo.
That was exactly mine.
Oh damn, sorry.
Anyway, no, that's alright.
Great.
And then for Harry, I was thinking there's a line in Golden where he just says, "Loving you's the antidote," and I think like a really cute sort of neo-trad little potion vial with some like golden potion in it with some sparkles would
That's
be
sick.
really cute.
That's heaps good.
Yeah.
Love that.
There you go.
Wow.
Damn.
They're great. They're actual
They are
tattoos
really
Yeah, they're both heaps
that you
good.
would get like
Um,
ours.
Adam, well, one of yours has already been said. But you
Well, I
can say
was
yours.
going to do that one. I had another. Can't remember what song it's from for Taylor. I had one that I was going to use, but I think the line is, "I see the high fives between the bad guys." Do you know what song that's?
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak
I
Prince.
think maybe just like Darth Vader and Darth Maul in soccer get-ups, like high-fiving each other. Maybe.
Great.
That was another. But and then my one for Harry is also from Golden. "I'm hopeless, broken, so you wait for me in the sky. Brown my skin just right, you're so golden." I was thinking of Harry Styles just like sunbathing, like sun tanning, and then in the sky is Goldmember from Austin Powers,
Yeah.
just like looking
Hell
down,
yeah.
and he's saying,
Yeah.
"You're so golden," because he is. He's very golden.
I love
pretty
gold.
gold.
He loves gold.
He does love gold.
That's good. That's good shit. Adam, I pretty late at the party. Just finished Mandalorian season 2
Oh,
today. Only just. I only
So
got Disney
good.
Plus like 2 weeks ago. That last episode,
blows your mind.
goodness me, I was a little boy. It was so good.
Yeah, me too.
so
Way
great.
more exciting than the whole sequel trilogy. Anyway,
Yeah, it was unbelievable. All right, mine for Harry Styles from Lights Up. Just shine, step into the light, shine, etc. Says shine a lot in the chorus.
it does.
Shannon Knoll has a song called Shine, if you guys recall that
Yep.
track.
Great song.
I don't know the words. Watch you shine. Anyway, low-key kind of heaps good of a track.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one of him boxing in the music video?
It could be. That
No,
could be
is that
that could be Lift. Yeah.
No, it's Lift.
That's
Sorry.
You
yeah,
gotta
that's
live.
definitely-
We've got some
Okay.
pub rock classics, I think. We should do Shannon Knoll versus Guy Sebastian one day. So I'm thinking Shannon Knoll just in like Harry Styles' outfit from the album cover. And that's just it. Maybe he could be eating like a watermelon or some shit.
That'd be
But
so great.
it's just Shannon Knoll, but in the
That's
white.
disgusting.
White. Disgusting. All right. Wait, have you seen the video?
Disgustingly good.
Have you seen the video of when Shannon Knoll was playing a show? It would have been like 4 years ago.
At the
3 years ago.
races, and he just rips into the
Rips
kid.
into the fan.
Yeah.
He's like, oi, you fuck, you come here, you dirty piece of shit, you come here.
Yeah.
It's like
Good
Shannon. Great vid. I implore everyone to go watch that. I don't know what you type in. Shannon Knoll goes at a fan on stage.
At the races.
Great stuff. Also, Shannon Knoll's 2011 album is called A Million Suns. How good is that?
It's pretty good.
Wow.
Might never check it out. Taylor Swift from Cruel Summer. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. So it's the devil and Taylor Swift dressed as an angel, and they're sitting at a table and they're playing Yahtzee together. And the devil is like winning. He's really smug, and Taylor Swift has just been heaps gracious because she's an angel. So yeah, Yahtzee.
Nice.
Yahtzee. All right, Bradley, what are yours?
Decent. Mine's from Fine Line, from the Harry album. Put a price on emotion. I'm looking for something to buy. Something, a tattoo of like a American $100 bill with, instead of Benjamin Franklin, it's got like an emoji, price on emotion. So like maybe like a laughing, crying emoji, or the sunglasses emoji.
I thought you were going to say just chuck Harry Styles on there instead. I was like,
That
good too.
That could kind of rock as well. Like a wallet full of
Chuck an
Harry Styles
emoji.
money.
That's heaps funny.
Yeah,
Heaps
really
funny.
bad.
Yeah.
In the future, we'll have emoji money.
Emoji money. I don't know, man.
Emoji money.
you
That's
reckon?
kind of
That's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Math rock
emoji
band.
money. Yeah,
Band name generator, emoji money.
exactly. That's coming up. For Taylor one, I got from Cruel Summer. So cut the headlights. Summer's a knife. I'm always waiting for you just to cut the bone. Just to
Whoa.
cut to the bone. I'm thinking just a knife. This is bad. Not, you know, like you guessed it, a knife in like an Aussie summer kit with some Billabong trackies. I've cooked it. Some Oakley sunnies and some thongs.
might be
a
your
knife
lowest
in
tattoo
some
moment.
clothes. I'm usually good.
You're
I'm
usually the
on
best,
fun.
but this is not.
An Aussie summer kit.
Of a summer kit with his billboards.
Billboards
And
and
a knife.
Oakleys.
No.
Some Oakleys
I'm
and
sorry.
some
I'm
Havaiana
sorry.
thongs.
So the sickness has done something to his
Oh.
tattoo brain.
Some Havaiana thongs.
No, my tattoo brain.
Well, I'm glad we ended on that note. Let's do the ad.
Long.
Moving on, let's pick our favourite songs. One from each album. Rachel, what do you got?
From the Taylor Swift album, it's The Archer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I think it keeps threatening to go somewhere and then doesn't. I
Yep.
love it.
And I like that. Yeah.
There's never. It feels like at some point there's going to be a huge, big bubba drum fill, and then big drums, and then just never is, and I love that. Harry Styles. I don't know. This one was a hard one for me because I like everything on it equally, with the exception of the one song that I don't like. So that was tricky. But probably Canyon Moon or To Be So Lonely.
Is To Be So Lonely the one with like the ukulele? Is it a ukulele?
Yeah, da, da, da,
some
da,
sort
da.
of-
It kind of feels like you're about to go into an episode of SpongeBob,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
just Harry Styles being sad instead.
Yeah, I love it. That tastes good.
Yeah.
Adam, what are yours?
Mine for Taylor, I was also going to say The Archer, but I'll say Lover, the kind of another one it's just kind of guitar and her, but it's not like the big country tracks that she used to do. It's more like the folklore stuff, I would say.
Yeah.
And I just like how it seems a lot more intimate than the big crazy stupid production ones. And then for Harry, I'm gonna go. I'm going to say treat people with kindness. I think that is, even though that's Brad's. Actually, that's.
How good's the film clip? Has anyone seen?
I haven't seen the film
it's
clip.
Great.
So good. Makes you laugh and smile.
Yeah,
and
I just
cry.
love how bright it is. That was the one that straight away on my first listen through, I was like, oh my god, such a great track. But yeah, bigger.
Sick.
Mad.
Sankey.
I'm saying Adore You, Harry Styles. The chorus backing R's, so like glittery. I love it. I was also going to say Lover. Fun fact about Lover, at my sister's wedding next year, I'm playing that song on guitar. She walks down the aisle. One of her friends is going to sing it. Should be pretty beautiful. So that's the one track I had heard only a couple of times though. And I was like, this song is lovely. I'll say Cruel Summer then, the song before that. Mentioned before. I think like it's the most simplest but also maybe the best like poppy song on the album.
It's great.
In my opinion. Cool. Bradley?
Fine line. I'm have to go Golden then. I was going to say Treat People with Kindness. It's just a great opener.
Yeah.
And it's got that, it's got a little bit of that rocky sort of element to it.
I love the.
It's so
driving
shimmery as well, even though it's called Golden. Like, it says it in the name, but it is really golden, that song.
Yeah.
I was going to go Cruel Summer, but I guess I might go It's Nice to Have a Friend.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the deeper cuts that this doesn't have all that glitz and glamour that Adam's been talking about. And yeah.
Nice work, Bradley, mate. All right, hectic. We're going to chuck those songs in our Spotify playlist, the Record Royale ads. We also have a playlist that we haven't used in a while. It's called the Record Royale Dump. It's the worst songs of the playlist, of the albums that we do. I'm putting Me. I'm chucking Me in the dump.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's going in the dump. So you can find
what's
both
in there
of them.
now? Can you read them out?
Yeah, I'll read them out for you. There's only 13 tracks. Like untitled off What's the Story Morning Glory.
We
Just
put
45 second.
We put in the whole. Didn't we put in the whole
Did
of
you
bangers?
put in Intermission from Panic at the Disco Fever You Can't Sweat Out?
Oh no!
Did you
Not dislike.
I think that was pre-dump. That was
It
pre-dump.
was
era.
pre-done.
Right.
This is you can tell when this happened. This was mid-season 2.
Yeah.
Signs by Beyonce with Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
Like that song, 5 minutes goes nowhere. 3 Justin Bieber tracks, including Children. Think about the
Oh
children.
fuck! That was the worst track.
3 Miley Cyrus songs, including SMS Bangers.
All of Bangers
SMS
should
was
be
kinda-
on there.
SMS was kind of
Rachel,
good.
I'm not sure if you
kinda
listened to that episode, but we did Bangers versus Purpose.
Yeah, I
And-
did.
You did? Yeah.
That was the hardest week ever.
I did.
So funny though.
And I think I
got a soft spot
messaged
for
you
him.
because the same week that came out, I'd had an argument with someone at a
Oh, you
dinner
did too.
party
Yeah.
about they were trying to convince me that Bangers was a good album if you listen to it in like an ironic way, and I'm like, no. There's no way that you can listen to that album that
I would
makes
listen
it
to
go,
that argument.
Makes it good.
I would be open to that idea.
Yeah.
And this was
we
at a
actually
dinner
said,
party as well. This was not at like this was not at like a party or at a club or anything like that. This was literally at a seated dinner party. So the rest of the table had
Academics
to
conversation.
listen to this argument happening. Sorry, I'll please read the other ones.
What else
There's
we
only
got?
4 more. John Bradley by the Wiggles.
Oh.
Such a such a track.
That's a scary song.
So sus. And then 3 Mighty Mighty Boss Tones songs. The Rascal King, Royal Oil, and Another Drinking Song.
Oil.
Royal Oil.
So
So I'm pleased to announce that you can find Me by Taylor Swift feat Brendan Urie in the Record Royale Dump on Spotify. Search that one up. You'll catch it in there. If you're looking for it, I've just made it the big poo emoji as the photo, so you can find that on there.
Nice.
All right, let's do band name generator. All right, we're making band names from these song titles. Rachel, you can go first again.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
From Fine Line, Harry Styles. The Canyon Moons.
Oh yeah.
To me, they sound a lot like the Black Keys.
Mm.
And that's kind of all I know about them because I don't know much about the Black Keys other than their singles. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a bit fun. A Lonely Boy song. That's all I know.
No, that sounds good.
That's all I know about the Canyon Moons.
Canyon Moons.
And the Taylor Swift one.
We got
You too.
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Princes.
Yeah.
are a riot
That-
girl punk band.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So sick.
And I would go and see them. They sound
Yeah.
like fun.
That would be good.
That would be really good.
I still love you two here. All right, Adam, what are yours?
I've only got the one, but mine is called. This is fucking so stupid. They're just called "You Need to Calm Down," and they're a 4-piece, relaxing funk rap band from India, fronted by the 14th Dalai Lama.
Wow.
The band play funk while the Dalai Lama raps about how to improve your lifestyle through meditation and mindfulness.
Far
So it's
out, that's
just
good.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
ASMR, kind of.
but Dalai Lama is the singer.
Yeah, sick.
That's them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine kind of similar. Mine's called Treat People with Kindness. They're a 10-piece busking group that made their name for themselves on Burke Street Mall in Melbourne,
Nice.
playing
Yeah.
the most upbeat and infectious songs, infecting everyone who watched them with a brilliant day and a big smile.
Nice.
Shortly after their rise to fame, the Victorian Police Department hired them to bring them along to deadly scenes such as shoot-offs and drug busts. Their job is to play their music to those breaking the law. The success rate is 100%, with every single criminal ceasing their illegal activities and breaking into dance and smiles after hearing their music.
Nice.
It's that powerful.
It's that
Wow.
powerful and
Sounds
infectious.
like a powerful
and happy.
band.
Yeah, the American CIA has reportedly reached out to the band about their availability as well.
Wow.
So they're going global.
They're hot property.
Yeah,
They
treat
are.
people with kindness.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brad?
Mine was It's Nice to Have a Friend. I think I might have done this before. It's just like mine always just end up being just like different types of karaoke. Well, this one is just this guy. He sings songs solo, and he just wants people to come up and sing with him. So it's like a solo act. It's like think of the Hamo, and
Yeah.
instead of karaoke, they have like a solo act, and it's just like pretty much open mic. Like
Yeah.
he's happy to sing him, but he just wants someone to come and do a duet with him.
But he does it like it's
Or
karaoke,
he or she,
but
yeah.
he's up there the whole time.
Yeah, he's please come up.
He's
Someone
the karaoke
please.
machine. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows he or she knows every song as well. So
Sounds like performance art.
Yeah.
yeah, like honestly, yeah, you could do it at a museum, whatever. Anything.
In the Louvre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
fuck yeah.
Brad, you're killing it today, mate. Honestly.
Jeez,
This
guys,
has been brilliant.
I'm having that day out.
One more to go. 2
Good
truths and a lie. Alrighty. Who's up? Adam?
I'm up. Yep. I got
Three
him.
statements.
I actually sent him to Brad because I wasn't sure I'd be able to make
Oh,
it. to
I
this
didn't see
episode.
him.
Okay.
I didn't see him. I did, but I refused to look at him.
All
Don't
right.
look at them.
We're
All right.
picking the lie out of these 3.
Okay.
Take it away.
Right. First one. Harry Styles' father, Desmond Styles, owned a Christmas tree farm while Harry was growing up. Number 2. Harry Styles has said his biggest celebrity crush is Adele. And number 3. Harry Styles has 4 nipples. I
Rachel
think-
knows it.
Can I put my hand
Rach,
up?
she's
I don't
gonna
know how
know.
this. I don't know how to answer this.
So we
What do you
pick
think's the
our
lie?
own. Yeah, we got to work it out. But if you know it, you can just bust it. But
I'm
I'm going to
sorry.
say, before you probably
Sorry,
bust
you
it
guys
straight
go
up,
and then I'll
Yeah.
spit facts.
I think I've heard number 3 is true, the 4 nipples. I think. And then Desmond?
Yeah, Desmond Styles. How funny is that?
I use Desmond every second week in my band name generator.
That's his name. Desmond Styles.
Right, okay. What was number 2
He's
again?
actually, it's kind of estranged because his parents broke up. And
Okay,
then
what was number
Desmond-
2?
Number 2 is Harry Styles has said his biggest celebrity crush is Adele.
I can see that.
Mm.
I think.
This is because I was
They're like the same
website.
age.
It's
Yeah.
just all crush stuff. Anyway.
That's what we could find.
I don't know. Rachel,
Yeah,
what do you
Sorry.
think?
I'm just gonna have a stab in the dark. I'm gonna quickly say maybe the Christmas one, just because. Why not?
I'm going to say Adele then. Oh, he probably loves Adele though.
So, I think the Christmas tree one is the lie because Taylor Swift's family owned a Christmas tree farm.
Oh
Wow.
shit!
And I think... and so... See, Adam, here's where you've gone wrong. Taylor Swift has a song off her Christmas album called Christmas Tree Farm. These are things that you know if you've DJ'd Taylor Swift nights.
Yeah, should have thought of that.
Fact check. Fact
Rookie
check.
error.
The
But yeah,
lie
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I'm wrong.
And I would believe that Harry Styles would say his celebrity crush is Adele.
Yeah,
And he
well,
definitely has 4 nipples. That was a question, I think, on The Weakest Link one time.
yeah,
There's an episode of The Weakest Link where I'm pretty sure that was a question.
yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to bother reading them out.
100%.
100%. But Harry Styles' father is named Desmond, and I just wanted to put that in there somewhere. It's the funniest thing ever.
It's excellent.
Desmond. Des.
Johnson.
Anyway, he has a great Instagram as well. I was looking at it today.
Oh,
Desmond.
you need to check that out.
He refers to his son as H. He's like, me and H at the pub.
That's how it's funny.
Anyway.
Old Des Styles.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, we're gonna rate these albums out of 10. Out of 10, what though? Shall we do?
I think we should rate them out of 10 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10,000 cuts.
Yeah, 10
Really confusing.
1,000 cut. What? Yeah, that's Taylor Swift. All right, then we need one for Harry Styles album. 10
10 nipples.
10 nipples.
10 nipples,
Yeah.
of
All
course.
right,
Yep.
lovely. All right, Rachel, you're going first. Out of 10, we'll do Harry Styles first, and then we'll come back around and do Taylor Swift after that. Out of 10,
Alright,
no
so-
decimal points.
So Harry,
My
out of
goodness.
10. Harry's for me gets a 9 out of 10. It's pretty solid. There's not a lot of filler. It's like pretty much back to back good choices. It's like for pop music, it sounds really original as well. Like I can tell what all of the references are and all of the inspirations are, but it doesn't sound derivative really of any of it. So yeah, I'm like, it's pretty strong. It's a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool. Adam?
I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. No filler. I really enjoyed this album. The only thing, maybe just the lyrics are not like the most insightful stuff known to man, which you're not expecting with pop records anyway. But it's really fun. I love all the production on it. 8.
Cool. I'm going to follow you up there with an 8 as well. I love this album, though. It's like, I don't know. He could have easily made like another just straight up pop huge hit album, but it's super intriguing and different, pretty unpredictable. Lyrics, predictable, as you said. But overall, heaps catchy, and I very much enjoy it. And I can also see why this is like heaps expensive to buy on vinyl now. It's always like $70. I'm like, why? But it fits like a nice, good, expensive vinyl album.
Yeah.
Probably won't
Nice
be chasing it
premium
up.
record.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Brad.
Yeah, I think 8 nipples feels good because if you did an odd number of nipples, where would they go? Like one in the middle. I don't know, but
That's true.
we'll do 8. I think yeah. In terms of pop music goes, this is great. Has a bit of everything. It goes in a few different places, while keeping it very like original to Harry. I think, even though I don't know his other stuff too well. But the start and the ends are super strong, and there's a few I've got Fine Line in like one of my playlists now as well, so that's pretty good for a pop record.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah, 8 nipples.
Love it. Nice. Good amount of nips.
Harry
Let's
just
do.
doubled his nip count. He's going to on this.
The fans are
You'd
going
be very
crazy.
All right. Let's do Lover out of 10. Death by 1,000 cuts. Or was it by
10 1,000s.
10
10
to
1,000 cuts? All right, Rachel. Take it away.
All right. So, Taylor, this is probably a 7.5 for me. Yeah, probably a 7.5. 1,000 cuts. I think it's really good. I think definitely like it just needed to be trimmed. There's some songs in it that just needed to be trimmed. I love the production on it. I don't mind some of that stuff that feels a bit bigger, but I think the production on it is not... There's enough surprises for pop production. For someone who listens to a lot of pop music, there's a lot of stuff that's like just a little unexpected. Some kind of nice little bits and pieces here and there that keeps it interesting. But yeah, there's a few too many songs on it. But, and also just Taylor Swift is such a good lyricist. Like, this is not her best album, but most other pop writers would kill to write something like this, and it would
stuff,
probably be their best album. Like, if anyone else did it, it would probably be one of their best albums. So,
yeah.
7.5.
Very well said. However, we don't do decimal points. So is it a 7 or is it
7 or an 8?
Hang on. I just have to think a little bit about how much I hate the song Me and whether or not that's enough to take it down to a 7. I think it's...
It's in the dump. The record Royale dump. Only 14 tracks in there.
Yeah, look, I think it's I think it's a 7.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with 7. Adam?
I'm going to go 6 on this one. Just for the same sort of things we were talking about before. It's just, there is a fair few songs, well, not a fair few, but there's a good chunk of this album that I don't want to listen to again, really. And that's not good, so it's a 6, because the first half is really good. Surprisingly good, as someone that didn't know that he was really into Taylor Swift. First half's great. Second half, I don't want to listen to it. So
I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah,
All right.
6.
Cool. I'm going to follow you up there yet again with a 6. It's a...
Oh, copycats, everyone.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's only so many numbers, mate.
Yeah, that's good.
As we said, first 6 tracks, pretty solid, but there's a lot of songs on here that are pretty vanilla for me.
Yeah.
And don't really capture my attention, except for the lyrics. Some of the lyrics
are
on here,
good.
I immediately stop listening to the music and I just focus on what she's saying. I'm like, oh, I can imagine this scenario that she's playing out in the song. And then I hear the music again. I'm like, oh, maybe might skip it, and then I won't come back to it. But yeah, I'm going to 6. Going to 6. Brad?
Damn. I'll go 7. Screw it. I want to do a 6. You guys did all 6s. I think if you averaged out each song, if you gave every song a score and then averaged it out, it would be a bit lower than the Harry Styles album. So I do have to go a bit lower than that. But yeah, I'm happy with a 7. There's some the Archer. I really, really like Cruel Summer. I thought that had some mid early 2010s Australian What's So Not sort of stuff. It reminded me of some old electro that you'd hear on Triple J. And I was like, I had a great time with that song. So yeah, why not?
That song
I'm feeling generous.
That song also sounds like Churches, the band.
Hell yeah, that's facts. Yeah,
It's good. It's a good thing. All right, easy win here. 33 out of 40 for Fine Line beats 26 out of 40 for Lover. Harry Styles.
Woohoo.
You did it.
Harry, you did it, mate.
He gets one over his ex. Well done. Well done, sir.
Gets the dub.
Relatively easy dub.
Well, I reckon we're going to get some angry fans on this episode.
I should post this in a Taylor Swift fan group and be like, guys,
with a big clickbait
guys,
title
listen, guess what, we give this out of 10. I think you guys will agree. It's they go
every
through
time
the whole
we do
thing.
a big enough artist, we get some angry fan pages.
Yeah.
Beyonce, who's a Beyonce fan?
Yeah, the Beyonce one, I was like, oh, what's this?
Oh, no.
So sorry.
She was so angry.
There's a couple of Justin Bieber ones as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, legends.
And the High Five fan club, who's still a fan. She wasn't too angry. She pulled us up on a few points.
High Five fan club, I think, listen to the show.
They do,
still,
yeah. So we've kept a few.
So shout out to the High Five fan club on Instagram.
Yeah, comment.
Huge
great.
shout out. Yep. If you hear this, let us know. We'll give you another shout out. Maybe you can sponsor us.
Beyonce fans definitely not listening right now. She hates us.
No.
Anyway.
No way.
That's right.
No way at all. Rachel?
Generally get the vibe that you guys are probably like pop music less than me, and that's okay.
Well, I definitely am more of the pop music guy in this little threesome we got going on. But
that's fair.
Yeah, Lover didn't really do it for me. I like the more upbeat kind of, not up. I mean, Taylor Swift's relatively upbeat, but it just didn't tickle my fancy this week. I don't know. I'm very specific with my pop. Some things I love, some things not so much.
Yeah.
It's also hard. It's also hard with pop music because I rarely go and listen to pop albums back to front. There's only a select few that I've been doing that recently, and I would listen to a lot of these Taylor Swift songs by their own, but Justified by Justin Timberlake.
Listen to that front to back. Where else?
You mean the perfect pop album?
Yeah.
We should do a retroactive review of that. 30 out of 30.
Bit of bonus content.
Yeah. For the Patreon that we haven't started or haven't even planned to. All right, Rachel, thank you so much for coming on the show. Very much appreciate you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
We're very insightful into these two artists, and I've learnt a lot tonight.
I have, yeah. You've brought on the most amount of knowledge.
Yeah, and it's
Absolutely.
great.
You have.
It makes me think that I should really step up my my research on all things artists we do on the show.
Anytime you guys want me to know stuff about a very small selection of music, hit me up.
Easy peasy.
Maybe we should do an ask Rachel segment where we don't know someone. We just go, let's just ask Rachel, and we get to insert it into the show.
Yeah.
Only about
Our
pop
correspondent.
music. Like if you're asking me about anything else, I'm like, I don't know about
No
this.
Megadeth.
No, if you're asking me about Megadeth, no. But if you're asking me about pop music, specifically if it was released between the years of like 2000 and 2020, I will probably know about it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
A
Nothing
wide
else.
catalogue.
Good to know.
We'll chase you up on that. Sick. All right, next week on the show, Noah Egan, Alex Robertson of the Debbies. Do you know where the Debbies from? Jervis Bay. Shout out to Jervis Bay.
Oh, nice.
They're coming on the show. It should be pretty fun. Machine Gun Kelly, Tickets to My Downfall versus Violent Soho. They're Waco. It's gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty keen. I've been
rock and roll.
I've been meaning to listen to the Machine Gun Kelly because I just keep seeing it and people think it's good. People think it's shit. So I'm pretty keen to see what I think.
I had a few people come up to me at work down there. You like pop punk? You like pop punk music, don't you? Like, listen, new Machine Gun Kelly. You like Blink? I was like, I don't know. Maybe.
Leave me alone.
But I'm very keen.
Yeah,
Very keen.
I'm really keen. And I haven't gone back to any Violent Soho album in
I had a
legit
sesh
years
yesterday, and it's still so good. Anyway,
Yeah, as expected.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's next week with the lads from the Debbies. That's gonna be very fun. We've got a few good albums coming up, and then we got the bracket episode in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Nearly end of season 4 somehow. It's episode 65. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're 2/3 of the way to 100. better start playing the 100th birthday. All right, legends, we're wrapping this one up. Rachel, once again, thank you so very much. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
heaps.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.